News 12 at noon. Your news now.
Welcome back. We're here with Hamilton County Sheriff Jim Hammond. He's ready to answer your questions. All you have to do is call the number on your screen right now, 756-1212, 756-1212. Sheriff, let's start by talking about terrorism prevention today.
Absolutely. Well, you know, kind of a phrase that I like that we're seeing more and more of is that if you see something, say something. If that little voice in you just says, this doesn't look right, make the call. We'll determine what's real and what isn't. So don't think, well, I'll be embarrassed if there's nothing to it. If you see something doesn't look right, make the call.
Got it. For example, what are we talking about?
Well, it could be anywhere from suspicious activity to out and out criminal activity that you might see, or people prowling around an area that have no business or actually are committing some kind of a crime. Maybe it's an assault, maybe they have a weapon. Even though Tennessee is a carry state, we still like to check out if people have the proper permits.
Sounds good. Jack, you are on the line. Go ahead with your question for Sheriff Jim Hammond.
Yeah, Mr. Hammond, I was wondering, when you carjack somebody, how come they're not charged with Grand Theft Auto?
Well, you know, that could certainly happen, but generally that we go with the crime that carries more penalty, and the carjacking is certainly much more dangerous and much more violent than if you just steal somebody's car. But there's no reason that can't be added as a charge if the police want to do that.
So it's up to the agency.
That's
okay,
right.
Got it. Tammy, you're next. Go ahead with your question for the sheriff.
Yes, sir. I was wondering about the Amber Alerts. Well, I've been hearing on the news about this little missing 2-year-old girl, and I was just wondering why they've not been an Amber Alert out.
Well, there may or there may not be, depending on the criteria that's followed, and in this particular case, they may know something that puts it in a different category where they wouldn't use the Amber Alert, but there are rules and regulations behind those, as you know, especially when they're posting them on the freeways and those signs. So it really would depend on the individual case.
All right, Jenny is our next caller. Jenny, go right ahead.
Yes, I'm wondering why that we can get water for the homeless and not a place for them to live in this cold weather, hot weather. You know, it's okay to give them food and stuff, but we got them living under bridges everywhere, and they're breaking into cars just in order to get something where they can survive.
Well, I think you have
mega churches, yeah, it's okay to give food, but I say that they need a place to live.
Well, thank you for that question. You have to remember, first of all, it's their choice where they live. You cannot force them off the street. It is not illegal to be homeless. It's not illegal for you to be in certain public areas. So most of these homeless you see that are regulars living in certain places, they do that by design. They prefer to do it. We have plenty of resources in this town to assist people who are homeless and want to get some help. There are some shelter care centers. There's different ways that we can see that they get off the street. But for the most part, when you see somebody consistently on the street, it's their choice.
All right, Sheriff, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be right back with our final check of the weather plus our community calendar. Stay with us.